Oh, say, anybody in the house who can say, I'm chasing after you, because I need more. Just a few moments, Elmwood, I want to preach from the thought, brooks do run dry. Brooks do run dry. Transition forces us to re-examine our lives and make changes to our present way of being. When you are going through transition, there's no way that you can come out of it the same way you went in it. But where there is change, there is also resistance. Because with change comes uncertainty. With change comes instability. With change comes insecurity. And the last thing people, especially church people, want to be is uncertain, unstable, and insecure. What we do know, church, is that change will come. Transition will happen because brooks do run dry. In our scripture passage, at the point where we meet the prophet, he has found himself in transition. The text tells us that the word of the Lord came to Elijah and told Elijah to leave where he was, go and hide in the Cherith ravine, where he would drink water from the brook and eat food from the mouths of ravens. Now, out of all of the places God could have sent Elijah during the drought, why would God choose to send him to the Cherith ravine? Cherith, literally translated from the Hebrew, means to cut off. How appropriate, Cynthia, how symbolic, because when we are in the midst of transition, it can feel as if we have been cut off. Cut off from the familiar. Cut off from what's been comfortable and convenient. Cut off from our community. Cut off from the life that once was. And sometimes, church, transition can even make us feel like we have been cut off from God. The text tells us that God sent Elijah to the Cherith ravine for two reasons: protection and provision. Elijah stayed at the brook for 2 years, and in that time, Elijah became comfortable. Elijah established a routine. He got into a rhythm when all of a sudden, without warning, the Bible tells us that the brook dried up. When the brook dries up in our lives, when the very thing that has sustained us runs dry, when the thing that has given us life dries up, can no longer give us what we need, what do we do? When the brook runs dry in our lives, the first thing we have to do is believe God. Now, I know what you all are thinking. You are thinking, Pastor, that sounds like the pastor thing to say. But it's not always that easy, I know. You see, when transition happens, especially unplanned transition, our natural response is to panic. Our natural response is to become afraid and feel anxious about our future. But if we would just take a moment to look back over our lives, with all that we have gone through, we have to believe that the same God who brought us through that is the same God who will bring us through this. You see, we have to believe today that the same God who kept us back then is the same God who will keep us right now. The same God who protected us and provided for us back then is the same God who will protect us and provide for us even in this time of transition. I could go